Am I looking at you or looking at the camera?
Look at me, and then just kind of we'll converse here, and then we'll kind of look out there and do all the things.
This one's looking at you, I guess.
This one's two, and that one's you.
Just me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are streaming live from the ArcadianServices booth here in Las Vegas, booth 445. So if you want to come by and check us out, here we are. We are going to be having some customer stories for you today, along with some product demos. So make sure you're tuning in. If you're not able to be here in Las Vegas, this stuff will be available for you post-show. So make sure you come check that out. I am Matt DeWolf. I run MK Quinn Media and am the host of Better Car Washing Everywhere, the podcast for car wash professionals and, yes, the car wash curious. So to kick off today, we're going to get into a little bit of a conversation around really customer differentiation. Okay. And what are some ways we can do that and all of that. But I'm not going to talk about it. I might have some opinions on it. But Eric McCullough is joining me today to help us kind of learn from his experiences and share his story. Eric, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we got to start back at the beginning, right? How did you come to be in this industry?
So I had a long career, mostly in product management, marketing, and technology space. And it was a semi-successful company in some ways, and it got bought and sold many times. And at one point in time, the car wash that was in our small town in West Virginia was available for sale. And, I had some money burning a hole in my pocket, I guess, from the experience of the technology. And I bought it. And the first, I didn't know anything about car washing. I'm not even good on a ladder, kind of thing. So first call was to the people who sold the equipment to the previous owner. And that was a person named Wally Dunford. And he drove up and saw my car wash and gave me some opinions. And little did I know at that time, he was actually going to, he told his employee at the time on the way home, he said that guy's probably going to sell or go out of business in about 90 days because he doesn't know anything what he's doing. But sure enough, I guess I had a finance background and a marketing background, and I think they told me originally, the guy said this place was going to make $60,000 a year or something, and I said, well, maybe I can do like 20% better or something, And as it turns out, slowly we built the business and brought it back up with some new branding and marketing and stuff that I did know. And slowly Wally and I became friends, and he saw what it was doing, because it was like, at one point in time it was doing like 200,000 or something. Three times more than what I thought it was going to do. And I'm like, oh my God, Wally, this is the best business ever. Why don't you have more of these? Because I'm just there with my one little hobby car wash here. And he said, well, I like to build them. I don't like to really run them and, do the day-to-day stuff. And that's when, again, we kind of slowly ground them down and said, why don't we build one together? And that was our first baby. And here we are 7 years later, and we just opened up our fourth one 2 weeks ago. Okay, awesome.
I love that. That's not a rise from the ashes story. That's like a prove them wrong story, right?
Yeah. Well, what I tell people when I mentor them and in the past and people I've managed, I think there's, some people would say, well, you got lucky or something. And I also believe in you make your own luck.
Yeah.
You get opportunities and then you kind of make your own luck.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think you gotta work hard. Like nothing is easy, and the number of people who try to get into this industry thinking, oh, I'm just gonna make a bunch of money and I'm not gonna have to be there. That could not be further from the truth.
Correct. I mean, the one thing I did know going in was it's not a path.
Give them a sense for your kind of wash mix. What are you operating? What are you owning? What's going on?
So today we have probably 9 different machines and across 5 locations.
Okay.
So we have 2 full-size tunnels. We have a mini tunnel, and then we have 5 automatics and 10 or so self-serve bays. So a little bit of everything.
Perfect.
We do unlimited memberships in our tunnel locations, as well as some of our touch-frees.
Oh, okay.
So we have petted machines that can do that are pretty fast enough to keep up with the memberships.
Interesting. So talk about that a little bit. What's that been like?
The membership program,
yeah,
specifically?
for the in-bays.
It's as most people know, do the memberships. It's a matter of just having capacity and being able to sell off that capacity, right? I mean, it's like an airplane that leaves without tickets sold. They're lost in the ether forever.
Right.
And so for us, it's been a good experience. The tunnels are easy to do, and then in the automatics, it's figuring out how to get that wash speed up to have that excess capacity to then sell. So it's again just capacity.
Yeah, and the challenge there is like really watching that volume so that you don't end up with long lines that are too much, right? To push people away.
Correct.
Like you want lines, you want to show activity, but not to the degree that it's going to start like sending people away.
Yeah, so we use we have 2 different car wash brands. One is the membership one, and then we have a separate brand that nobody necessarily knows is the same company for the situations where we don't have the capacity.
Oh, nice. That's funny. You are your own competition.
in some situations.
That's great. That's great. So we're kind of in a time in this industry where there's a lot of building, there are a lot of washes, and it's becoming more and more important to differentiate, right? So. Yeah. Talk about some of the ways that you make sure that you stand out with your wash.
Sure.
Washes.
For us, I think you have to understand your brand.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have 2 brands. We have a high-end brand and we have a low-end brand. And I mean, just like if you were in, you go to clothing stores, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Macy's, or you can go to Neiman Marcus. And so you need to understand what your brand is, what your value is to the customer.
Yep.
And then exploit that, to make sure you're giving them the value that they deserve. So the one brand which does the memberships, Mighty Shine, is our higher end brand.
Okay.
And we like to do those extra differentiators for sure. If you're in the other brand, we sometimes don't, right? I mean, it's just a matter of different people want different things. Like just the people who go to Walmart want a different thing than the people who go to Neiman Marcus for the clothing.
Yeah, well, and there's a different expectation, right, of like what they're going to get. And
correct.
So the game is all about meeting and slightly exceeding those expectations. So it's just better than average, right?
Correct. We would say that we don't want to satisfy the customer. We want to delight the customer, which is the next step up to me over satisfy. So whatever your brand's whatever you're selling as your expectations is just deliver a little more.
Yeah, I love that. Well, so let's talk a little bit about one of the ways that you all are doing that. There's lots of senses, right, that you're appealing to in the car wash space. You want to see a show. We always talk about the show when you're going through a tunnel or even in an in-bay. And we talk about, so that's sight. And then we talk about sound a little bit. It's a little bit different. That's more about really like, can you keep your dryers kind of quiet, right? But then there's scent, right? And that's a total sensory thing. So you're trying to kind of wrap into all of it. You all are doing some stuff with the scent. Talk about what that is.
Sure. So like you said, we try to get all the senses involved as much as you can, right? Sight is the show, but then the smell is, the hidden one that it's remarkable how many people tell us later on, about the smell and the sense that they have. And in fact, one of our sites, we use it as a differentiator in that we have a dual in-bay automatic next to each other. And we use different scents in each line.
Oh, really?
And it has, some people don't recognize it until afterwards. And then there's the regular customers who are like, oh, what's that new scent? Arcadian uses a lot of different. They come up with new scents like at wintertime and
Yeah.
stuff like that in the holiday season and stuff. So we put like winter cabin in one of the bays, and people are like, oh, this is awesome, and then they're using that line. And one of the tricks that we actually use, and it kind of helps operationally. So every car wash operator knows that when people pull in, there's one in-bay automatic that gets used more than others.
Yeah, yep.
And that's a maintenance nightmare for people to try to, to keep them in sync. So what we do is we put the more popular scent on the farther lane.
Oh, to drive them across to the
more traffic over there, and that helps quite a bit.
That's fascinating.
It works well.
Eric, that's so smart. Where'd that come from? It's a little thing, but it's so smart.
It is a little thing. I don't even know that we started it. I have a manager at the site, and she's super into the customer experience and that kind of stuff. And she's like, yeah, these customers, they really like this one scent. And I'm like, well, maybe we should move that scent to the other bay. So I don't know that I don't know that it was smart. It was just like you learned it, and then maybe somebody's listening to this going, oh yeah, you learn from others, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you learn from happenstance, and other times you learn from others. This one was probably the happenstance one.
Yeah. Sometimes it's out of necessity, not necessarily intention. Right. Yeah. That's funny. The great ideas, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that was going to be so awesome, but now it really works.
Yeah. It's as opposed to like signs or concrete, or can we push people to this bay a little more? What do we need to do?
Yeah. I love that. I love it when it works out that way. Talk to me a little bit about kind of what you're doing on a day-to-day. What keeps you coming back? What keeps you excited about being in this industry?
I think it's there's a lot of it's in some ways people say it's the same thing every day. Rinse, wash, repeat, kind of thing or whatever.
Yep.
Wash, rinse, repeat. But I think it's much different than that. There's the customers. Some of them give you crazy stories, and then some of them are just genuine people. Like the one that touches me is we have a customer who has an autistic child. Yeah. And they just talked about how much they love coming to the car wash. And for his 9th birthday, his mother made a picture, made a cake.
Oh, sure.
With of the car wash. And we gave, when we heard about that, made them an employee.
Yeah.
And gave them a hat, and a shirt, and a name tag, and we were just able to do something like that. It was really cool. When I think about car washing, that story still sends chills down down me. It would change somebody's life in that regard, and it's those kind of things that come out of nowhere that you didn't really expect to experience as a quote-unquote car washer.
Yeah, it's a different kind of impact on someone's life that you don't realize you can have when you're just running a business, right?
Well, most people think it's just about clean cars, and there's just so much more emotional component of car washing that I don't think gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Well, obviously the fragrance that you're using is an Arcadian product.
Correct.
And it's called Injectascent.
Correct. We Injectascent. Yep. We use different ones different ways.
Yep.
So we're using coconut lime, which is a very popular scent. We use that mostly in our, in some situations like in the tunnels, we don't really have choices.
Right.
So we do that, and then what we usually use is coconut lime, and then the fun scent from
something fun,
Arcadian that they're doing. Sometimes I think they're cotton candy and winter cabin, for instance, in the winter.
What do you think aside from being able to push people to the bay you want them to be in most frequently, what do you think is maybe the biggest benefit for you?
When you delight people is they end up talking about you, right?
Yep.
And it creates that buzz that hey, I went to a car wash and something happened that never happened before. They had they had this smell, the winter cabin or the coconut lime, they just have this crazy smell. And because they're delighted, they're more likely to talk about the experience.
Yep.
And that to me has fueled a lot of our growth to be able to do what we've been able to do.
Great, that's great. That's so good, so good. Well, there was a time when you were not a professional car washer.
Yeah.
Today you are a pro.
I hope so. I don't know.
It
depends.
It depends on the day. I mean, let's be honest, right? But I'm curious, if you could give one piece of advice to yourself that you know now when you were getting into this industry, what would you tell yourself? What's one piece of advice you could give?
Pay more attention to maybe the customer. I mean, the customer drives everything, and it's not the nuts and bolts. It's the customer experience.
Yeah, great advice. Great advice. Eric, thank you for spending some time today sharing your story. I think it's going to really help some people out there.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to do it. Arcadian's been great to us, and I really enjoy using their products for everything.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, if you are watching, come by the booth, check it out. If you are streaming this, we are about to start up a little bit of a follow-up conversation to talk more specifically about Injectascent and kind of what that's doing and why Arcadian went that path. Otherwise, you can come see it live. And friends, just hang on for just a few minutes. We're going to reshuffle and resituate some stuff, and we will be right back. How much are you gonna do with your hands? How much? I might just have you hold the mic. Yeah. It'll be easier. Okay, count for me.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. Hey everybody, we are back. I've got David with me. We're going to talk more Inject-A-Scent for you. If you are just catching us, we're telling some of the great customer stories for ArcadianServices here at the Car Wash Show in Las Vegas. And so now we're moving on. We're getting product specific. We're talking Inject-A-Scent. David, what are we looking at? What's going on?
So when I first started with Arcadian 3-4 years ago, we like to scent our products in the barrel. If you know anything about Arcadian, we like to make our alkalins and our acids pretty stout.
Yep.
And we are also a small business, so if you put an order in today, we would kind of make the product today and ship it out to you. As we've grown, we started to stock our shelves a little bit more, try to have stuff ready to go on the shelves. And we found, especially with acids, if you put scent into them, they're going to be fine day one, but that high acid, high alkaline is going to eat away at the scent long term. So we decided to take out the scent from a lot of the strong alkaline, strong acids, and come up with a product called Inject-A-Scent. So it gives you the flexibility. Also, we'll go back. You may love our pre-soak acid. We put bubble gum in it, and you hate bubble gum.
Right.
So great product. I love it. I hate bubble gum. Now you have the option to pick 1 out of 12 scents to pair with any of our pre-soaks and get the exact scent you want. On top of that, with my time in the field, I would go out. Again, I would find customers who love our scent. We put it in there at a specific amount.
Yep.
They were turning down the chemical and running a lot more chemical just to get the scent, right?
Gotcha,
so they need a 1 to 250 dilution to clean a car. They're running at 1 to 80 just to get the scent, right? So they're wasting money.
Yep, just pouring it out, literally.
Pouring it down the drain, literally.
Yeah.
So with Inject-A-Scent, we run a dual injection process. So you tip out the chemical, and you can run this at any spot in the wash. I'm using the pre-step 1, pre-step 2 is where most people run it. Get it right in your face pretty often, and that's where our high pH, low pHs are. So you tip it exactly how you want it. I need this tip to clean. I need this tip to scent, whether you want to scent so strong everybody in the vacuum smell it, or you just want to scent the bay a little bit. You have total control as a car wash owner.
Well, I love that because it does take, like you said, if I really like the efficacy of the product, I can put whatever scent I want.
Whatever scent you want.
And so talk to me a little bit, like, is it hard to change then? Like if I'm going from winter cabin and I'm coming into the spring and I need to switch, what's that, like, is it a painful process?
No.
Okay.
In the formulas, we formulate everything pretty similar. Now, some will smell stronger than the other. Grape tends to be a little bit of a weaker scent. Coconut lime, as he was talking about, is very, very strong. So you may need to tip up and down a little bit based on scent selection. To your point, we actually kind of encourage you to find 3 or 4 that you like.
And just
rotate. Not even just for the seasons, but you and your customers are going to get nose blind to it if you run coconut lime. Sure, you love it the first time, but you're going to become numb to it. So we suggest that you guys cycle out, find 3 or 4 that you like, and rotate them fairly often.
So, as you were kind of working on this product, right? Like, where did it kind of originate? Where was the brainchild coming from?
Yeah. So I came from an HI&I industry for 10 years. We did a lot of air care. We worked with a lot of good fragrance vendors.
Okay.
And truthfully, I feel like the car wash is pretty bland. Grape, cherry, lemon, right? So I wanted to work with people who are going to make a little more complex scents. We still offer the grape, we still offer the cherry, but we've gotten into working with the people who work with candles, right? So we sell an experience now. We have a product called Ocean Mist. What does Ocean Mist smell like, right? It's ozonic, it's fresh, it's clean, it's not just grape, it smells like grape. So we're mixing a lot of different fragrances to create an experience in a product.
Which has to be pretty fun for you as a chemist.
Yeah, it's really cool. We are doing our best to, as Eric was saying, come out with one summer, one winter fragrance. So we're trying to work 6 months in advance. I get 20 to 30 samples of different scents.
Yep.
We go through it all. We bring in Aubrey, as he mentioned. She's great. She gives us great feedback, and we try to find a product that everybody will enjoy for a seasonal scent.
Now, have you found that our customers kind of coming at you before you're ready, right? Like they're like, hey, when is this scent coming? When's it coming? When's it coming?
It's started. So we just got into the seasonal stuff last year. We launched Winter Cabin, as he said. Our business model was we're going to buy a couple barrels of it, limited time only. When it's out, it's out. It worked so well, we ended up buying a lot more barrels of it, and it's actually a full-time offering now. So hopefully we're not going to do that with every single limited time offering, but it was very, very successful.
Well, you know, when the limited time offer works, why not?
Full-time, right?
Why not? Why not? What are you seeing? Like, any interesting ways that customers are using this that you're seeing?
Yeah, Eric did a great job with the Bay.
Yeah.
The Bay story. I'll tell a story to tie into it for sure. When I was developing this full line, we work with a customer right down the road from our office in Florence. They have 2 in-bay automatics right next to each other. So we were going through scents, which ones pop, which ones are kind of dull. And he's absolutely right in the way that he shoved people, I would say. But my story is we developed a pine fragrance.
Yeah.
And then we developed the coconut lime fragrance. And he's spot on. There would be men in this line who would wait in line to go through the pine. And there would be women in this bay. Even if there's 3 cars deep in the bay over here and this one's wide open, they would absolutely wait in line to go through the bay that they associate a great clean scent with.
Yeah, I love that story. I love that story. Yeah, it's funny how personal that choice is, right?
100%. It's, you know, the way we kind of are trying to sell this is it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Everybody's building on top of each other, right? So this is a way to make even a smaller wash very unique, right? You're selling experience, you're selling color, you're selling scent. You get to kind of personalize your own wash to be a little bit different.
Yeah, I think that's really important, especially with the way this industry is moving.
Sure.
It's only going to get more complicated and more complex in terms of how do you differentiate from the guy right next door.
Yep. And scent and color are by far a big push for, you know, especially women and children, right? Like the children like to go see the color.
Yep.
The women for sure love the nice complex scents that we're doing. So it's a good marketing tool for the car wash owners for sure.
What else do we need to know? Leave us with a final thought on Inject-A-Scent.
It's just a great way to, again, fine-tune your wash, make yourself unique. We're coming out with complex stuff. It's a good way, you know, to change your triple foamers to red and run Winter Cabin, and you have a great winter promotion Christmas time to get people to come into your wash.
Love it. David, thank you so much for spending some time educating us on Inject-A-Scent.
Yes, so swing by the booth. We're doing live samples. We're spinning some fragrance into water, and we'll send you home with some samples to remember us by.
Yeah, it smells great, by the way.
Yes.
It smells really good over here, so come see us. Hey, if you're watching, we're going to be doing more of this a little bit later this afternoon, so make sure you tune back in for some Beyond Graphene conversation where we're talking about how to get that car next level shiny. So make sure you tune in for that, and we will be back in just a little while. Thanks, everybody.
Great, thank you.
Sweet.